What if I told you you could go on a cruise for only $75? Here's the catch, it's the worst reviewed cruise ship in the world. Margaritaville Cruise Line has been coined on the internet as the quote, Dollar Tree of the seas. From a stateroom that's falling apart to some of the worst food I've ever had, today we test to see if the world's cheapest cruise is even worth the trip.
This was a horrible idea.
This is Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. So I know what you're thinking, Ryan, how on earth does any cruise ship make a profit at a $75 price point? Well, upon pulling up and being forced to park valet, I know exactly why. I paid $57. Aside from a fairly long line at valet, we actually got through pretty quick. I wish I could say the check-in process was just as seamless. We ended up waiting over an hour to check in to do all of our boarding procedures, and when we finally got to the front of the line, there was a few minor off-putting things. After multiple digital and photocopy scans of our passports, the wonderful team member on their iPad decided that we did not need to read any of the disclaimers, and they filled them out for us and then had us just initial, and I literally was watching her go through all of these terms and conditions. No opportunity for us to read exactly what was going on. For all I know, I could have just signed my life away to Jimmy Buffett, but hopefully that's not the case. I will say, this is the most rickety ass, the floor is bouncing. I feel like I'm on the elevator we did at the Nick Hotel. This literally feels exactly
just as terrifying. Just as terrifying.
Welcome on board.
Hi. First thing that we're greeted with when we board the ship is a green screen photo op with some beautiful photos that are available for purchase for the low price of $35. But first, I do want to touch upon this main lobby area. The beautiful centerpiece in the main lobby area here on Deck 5 is this massive flip-flop. Now, I know Jimmy Buffett himself, this is one of the icons of his branding. I heard he's a big fan of the grippers. One other thing about this main lobby area is the tiling around the top, and I know this is probably not intentional because this ship was a different ship prior to this, but it definitely feels like you're on this pool bottom. You know what I mean? You're at the bottom of the pool, kind of. They should have some lights that look like the water reflecting. That'd be cool, but they don't. One major note, I have a feeling all of these hallways are going to feel just as clinical as this one. It's just very the artwork is cool. It's nice, but I feel like I'm in a hospital. In total, Margaritaville at Sea has 13 decks, well, 14 if you ask the directory, some of which have fairly goofy names like Flip Flop, or License to Chill, or how about 5 o'clock somewhere? Oh, that's a really cute name for Deck 5. No, that's Deck 10. We are staying on Deck 4, which unfortunately does not have as cool of a name. We got Coral Reef. Boo. Let's go tour the room.
Thank you so
Sir
much.
Ryan and Sir Donnie.
Yes.
Nice meeting you. I will be your stateroom attendant. If you need something, if you have any issues in your room, let me know, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Oh hey, welcome to my crib. Let's do a room tour. Here on Margaritaville's Paradise of the Seas, these rooms are absolutely rooms, for sure. They are rooms. And let's start in the bathroom. If you've been on a cruise ship before, mostly these showers are the doors closed. This is a curtain. Extremely rusty curtains. Look at that. Obviously, showers are gonna be small on any cruise you get on. This floor is literally moving as I step on it. God, I can't even close this shit. One major thing to note that I probably should have mentioned a little bit earlier about this ship is that this ship was built in 1991. It was changed from multiple different owners, themes, whatever. And it seems like a lot of it has been updated, but also a lot of it that can't be updated was not updated. You could have easily replaced a lot of the fixtures in the bathroom. Clearly the sink was. Look at that. That's some freaking water pressure. And of course, sighting number 2, Jimmy's favorite, those grippers. Outside of the bathroom, like the clip I included earlier, I thought I was gonna get a room with 2 beds. Not a room with 2 beds, a room with 1 bed. It's definitely...
Yep. Not so bad.
I will say, theming wise here in this room, a beautiful mural of all of the islands in the Bahamas, Jamaica, we got Haiti, we got Cayman Islands, shout out Cayman Islands. I maybe shouldn't say that, I don't know what's going on there. Here on Margaritaville's Paradise ship, they do not have balconies, which is fine, but it does make this sign up here that is literally made of plywood. Listen to this. It makes this sign up here really, really confusing because it says nothing but a breeze, which we aren't getting nothing of today. Let's look out this sick view. Let's see what we got. What did we pay for? $75 view right here. Ready? You're gonna have to adjust lighting. Oh my God, look, it's the tropical. The tropical shipping containers. Are you okay? I believe it's only been a port for like cargo ships, which you can clearly tell by some of these clips. Everything from the in-stateroom $5 water bottles all the way to the rusty hooks holding up the shower curtain. This room has it all. One thing I will say is that this room has like a distinct smell to it. I cannot place my finger on it. Somewhere between coconut oil and some stinky grippers. Some stinky feet. I don't know, this is... Also, we're missing a mini fridge. And the wood is... Look at, oh my God. One of my favorite parts about going on cruise ships is that like these rooms are oddly, for the most part, fairly calming. It's very quiet, especially if you have an interior room without a balcony. But this one has a very convenient air vent right on the door that is, I'd say, probably 1 foot by 2.5 feet, and all of the noise from outside gets straight through there, and it's gonna be a loud cruise.
Luggage content, ma'am?
Yes. Please.
Hey Danny, what kind of stain is this? Is that blood or is that doo-doo? Which one?
Definitely doo-doo.
The major takeaway from this room tour here on the Margaritaville Cruise Line is basically like pretty much everything you might have seen online so far, and that's like, it's already falling apart. Like, obviously not on a large scale, but if you look closer to everything, it's weird because this was refurbed, or at least opened from its refurb in 2022. This has only been a cruise line for, at this point, time of recording, 2 years, and it's already seen better days. This ship itself was originally built in 1991, and when it launched, it was under the name Costa Classica. If you haven't heard of the Costa brand of cruise ships, I don't blame you. What you may have heard about is that this Italian cruise brand made headlines in 2012. Their Concordia ship capsized when it ran aground off the coast of Tuscany. This ship partially sank, killing 32 people. The wreckage caused by the accident took over 2 years to clean up and cost the company an estimated $2 billion. The captain of the ship at the time of its sinking, Francisco Schettino, was found guilty by an Italian court for multiple counts of manslaughter, causing the shipwreck, and abandoning his passengers. He was sentenced to 16 years in prison. The Classica, the ship that we are on today, had its fair share of accidents as well. The most notable came in 2010 when the vessel lost power and collided with a cargo ship, creating a 60-foot gash well above the waterline, causing a multitude of injuries to passengers that were on board. In 2018, the Classica ship was sold to the Bahamas Paradise Cruise Lines and rebranded to the Grand Classica. Then in 2022, the company launched its partnership with the Margaritaville Resorts and Hotels by debuting Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. So let's talk stats. The Margaritaville at Sea itself is actually only 722 feet long. It has a height of 102 feet with 14 decks in total. It has a full guest capacity of 1,680 guests. In comparison to the last cruise we went on here on For the Love of Theme Parks, which was the Royal Caribbean Wonder of the Seas, that ship is 1,887 feet long, has a maximum guest capacity of 7,084 guests with 19 decks in total. Obviously, the Royal Caribbean Wonder of the Seas is the second largest cruise ship in the world, and comparing the two isn't very fair. So let's go ahead and compare this ship to one that's closer in its size.
The Titanic. You know, that one. The Titanic had the length of 882 feet. That's a whole 160 feet longer than the Margaritaville Paradise ship.
The Titanic somehow had a maximum capacity of over 3,000 guests, over double what we have here on Margaritaville at Sea. The design of the ship itself isn't really that bad at all. Plenty of space on the top decks for maybe like a cartwheel contest or maybe even some pickleball. Clearly here on the pickleball court, safety is the first priority. Gotta have access, you know, see? Now, none of the pickleballs can get out. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of the AstroTurf, like covering the entire top deck of the ship itself. It feels like a lot of it's starting to get a little patchy even after just 2 years of the ship existing as the Margaritaville ship, and it just doesn't seem like it's being repaired where it needs to be repaired, like here, or maybe even here. Considering the fact that there are no smoking signs everywhere, I will tell you there's a lot of smoking on this cruise, and I don't know if I could say this on YouTube, but it's for the most part not cigarettes. There was a very, very obvious sign when we were boarding the ship, but not a lot of people were listening. Yup. You know, all this exploring is getting me pretty hungry. I think we're gonna have to make a quick stop here at the Port of Indecision buffet. So this buffet is pretty much just the standard buffet you'd find on any cruise ship. And this is probably the busiest we've seen literally any spot on the entire ship so far. Like, I didn't even think there was this many people on the ship. Well, after only a few bites of food, I think both Danny and I have decided maybe we stick with cereal for breakfast. I don't know. I don't like wasting food, but these eggs they're cold and taste horrible. This bacon is mostly fat. They didn't have syrup. Breakfast buffets are really hard to screw up, but somehow Margaritaville at Sea managed to do exactly that. I don't know if it was the disgusting discolored sausage or the extremely watery eggs, or maybe the newspaper-themed pastry liner with stories of the Berlin Wall. But this buffet was not good, and you'd figure a brand like Margaritaville would have that down by now, especially considering their spiritual leader, his last name is Buffet, right? After our breakfast at the buffet, we decided to go up one level and over to the pool deck, and that's exactly where we found out the answer to the mystery of where are all of these deck chairs. Well, they're all broken, sitting here in the corner of deck number 11. And honestly, I think the funniest part of this is that a lot of these deck chairs are not matching. That's one thing I've noticed throughout this cruise, is that if they have a set of like a ton of chairs, like none of them are matching whatsoever. Now, obviously, this Margaritaville cruise line is 100% a booze cruise, and that only becomes more evident when making it to the top deck, where it seems like a dance party, some type of DJ. I myself almost got pulled to be part of this dance contest, although I would not be able to accept the prize, which is a margarita. Of course it's a margarita, like what else? While we were filming that last clip, I saw some people walking towards me with soft serve ice cream. You know what I thought? Now's my time. And I found it. Here it is. I will say it definitely looks like it was just rolled out of some utility closet and placed right here. Doesn't look like a very official spot. But I don't care. I don't care. Danny is just a happy little kid no matter what. No matter what. There's been so many times already today where he's just like, I'm good, I'm having a good time. It's good, it's good. As of right now, Margaritaville at Sea, the Paradise ship, only makes one single stop on their cruising. It actually is only a 2-day cruise in total. And right now we are stopped here at Grand Bahama Island. I don't know exactly how much we're gonna be able to get done here, because from what I was told, literally all the activities outside of port is nearly 40 minutes away from where the port is itself via car. And we're not gonna be doing that. What we were told by some of the taxi drivers is that this port is really only open with all the shops and stuff while cruises are in port. There's a cruise in port and it's not open. So we just walked like half a mile and there's nothing. Going back on the ship. It's become very clear that this port itself is probably one of the cheaper ports that you could come to as a cruise line, and I'm assuming because we paid $75 to get on this cruise, that's probably why this is the only port that it goes to. It's very industrial, very nothing, a whole lot of nothing. One of the main attractions that I've seen people touting about online about the Margaritaville cruise is this burger bar. Here at the Cheeseburger in Paradise bar, during lunch and dinner time, you could just walk up and grab a cheeseburger. My goal today is to get my money's worth out of this cruise. I paid $75, and normally at a Margaritaville restaurant, you're gonna be paying upwards to $25 for a burger. So all I need is 3 burgers, and I already have 1 down from yesterday. So let's see if we could do this. Fins up. I've had an idea for content for quite a long time of going on a cruise and seeing how much it would take in order to eat my money's worth of the cruise itself. Luckily, it's really, really easy to compute here on this cruise. I just need another burger. That's literally it. And I'm almost there. I'm already almost there. Danny, how do these burgers taste?
They're not bad, but they're not like, wow, either. Better than McDonald's, but like 4.5 out of 10.
If you're looking to get some shopping done here on the high seas, well, we've got some Margaritaville themed gift shops. Let's go check out what they got. Plenty of signs to hang up around your at-home pool area. This is a fun one. No skinny dipping alone. Danny. For those merch heads, if you're looking for a very high quality Spirit Jersey brand Margaritaville at sea, they actually do have them here on board. Any guesses on the prices? Danny, give me your guess of how much it costs.
I actually know the price already, but I'm going to fake it. $372.
$69.99. Nice. I am seriously considering starting a collection of these little decorative life rings. Sandy toes, salty kisses. There is not one single piece of don't laugh. There is not one single piece of merch here that you would not be expecting to see on a Margaritaville cruise ship. Like no shoes, no shirt, no problem. Or God bless Margaritaville. Or it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's like literally like this is if you had an AI robot make all of these, this is exactly what maybe that's what they used, although AI was not a big thing in 2022 when I'm sure all this merch got into the shop and has not left ever since. Have you seen this? I can't believe we missed the Hemisphere dancer shirt they have here. I wonder if it's featured anywhere else on the ship. Now I say a lot of this stuff is probably fairly old. One that I know is pretty new. I think at least in the last 6 months, they did debut these official Margaritaville Crocs, and look at the detail in here. If you look at the side of this, it's like ocean. Like, do you see this? You see how it goes from like the water to the sand, at least on the back half of it? They even have giblets that come with it, including our beloved Hemisphere dancer. We have one of those massive chairs that you'll see outside the front of every Margaritaville, a compass because you got to know where you're going, an island, and look at this. Look real close. There's a guitar pick holder and a Jimmy Buffett guitar pick within this little giblet. This is amazing, and I really need a pair. Problem is, I think they cost $69.99 as well as the other ones.
Across from the other ones over there are these more Crocs, and all these Crocs have a lot of different giblets to them. This one's got a beer bottle opener, very Jimmy Buffett. Dude, I think that's... Dude, you hear that? That's glass.
We did just check out with our souvenirs, but I did want to quickly highlight, look, you could buy a Margaritaville bike. Now these are running from anywhere from $279 all the way up to close to $400. I do like that they got the seat that doesn't go up my ass crack. That's good. And it's got Margaritaville on it. Look at that. Okay, I could show you exactly what I got, but I can't tell you who it's for because that'll spoil it. This is this is what I got. I can't tell you exactly who it's for. Don't ruin it, but out of all of the disappointments here on Margaritaville Cruise, one thing that I'm honestly very, I'd have to say proud to see is the representation of our beloved Hemisphere dancer plane. To be fair, it's really only represented in 2 specific spots here on the cruise ship, and that's from the Hemisphere Lounge, which was kind of underwhelming as well. Also in one more location as well, here on deck 12, on this glass, we have some graphics, and oh, do you see it? I do want to thank Danny so much for spotting this. This specific Hemisphere dancer actually matches very closely to a tattoo that I have on my leg from the very talented Chris Edge, who actually, as of right now, tattoos at Hart and Huntington over at Universal City Walk, which brings me back to the main point I bring this up in the first place. If you're not aware, the Hemisphere dancer plane is actually located across from the Margaritaville that's located at Universal Studios Orlando's City Walk. This plane has a really interesting story, and I promise this time I will actually finish it. Way back when, this was actually the personal plane of Jimmy Buffett himself. He was flying this plane along with the singer of U2, Bono, over the island of Jamaica. Now, during this period of the late 80s and early 90s, there was a lot of issues with drug smuggling into and out of Jamaica. The Jamaican government, who thought they recognized this low-flying plane as a drug smuggling plane that would return from time to time, decided, well, let's just open fire at this plane, putting these 2 major music icons in the ultimate peril. Luckily, as the story goes, these 2 rock stars escaped with their lives, but just narrowly. I'm sure this was a very traumatic experience for the both of them, but they didn't really leave empty-handed because it inspired an iconic song from Jimmy Buffett himself. As the famous words from that very song go, but it's just another shitty day in paradise. Although the ship was a disaster, the island a bust, and the food not the greatest, one thing I would like to note is that the staff on board was nothing short of wonderful. It's definitely a case of them doing the best they can within the confines of the ship that's falling apart with zero budget for actual repair for what needs to be fixed. I guess I really didn't know what I was expecting with this budget cruise line, but I'm glad I could take you all with me. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, please let me know by liking the video as well as commenting down below whether you would take this $75 cruise or not. A simple yes or no will do, and it's really one of the only ways that I know you made it all the way to the end. If you're interested in seeing the video of that one time Danny and I explored the old Nickelodeon hotel, you can find that video right here. Or if you're interested in more theme park history and shenanigans, this video right here. Thank you, pity viewers. I'll see you guys real soon. Bye.